Today we're going to talk about turning a quote-unquote waste stream into a resource, and that is ash, wood ash. Okay, ash from fireplaces, wood stoves, fire pits, you name it. Now, in a lot of cases, wood ash is not utilized. Okay, it is bagged up and thrown away. It's taken to the landfill in a lot of cases. Okay, so a lot of people do use it, and that's good, but if you looked at the overall use in the United States, a very, very high percentage ends up in the landfills. Okay, so there's some good things done with it. There's people that basically just apply it back to the land. And that's a great thing to do, right? It provides that cycling, that nutrient cycling back to the land. But I want to talk to you about using it as a particular soil amendment. Okay, it is used as a soil amendment. And wood ash, in a lot of cases, might be referred to as potash. Okay, it is on the NPK, or the macronutrient, it is the K. Okay, it is potassium. Okay, potassium. Right, it's good for that. And what I mean by that is it's got a high-ish percentage of potassium in wood ash. Okay, so we can use it as that K, if you will. Okay, and it doesn't have any nitrogen in it. It does have a little bit of potassium in it, so it's going to have 0 on the N. It'll have something like 1 on the P and something like 3 on the K. Of course, all wood ash is a little bit different, but it is great to use as a soil amendment. All right, now a couple things about it. One, it is more alkaline, okay, as opposed to acidic. Okay, and so some people will use it to try and raise the pH. Okay, raise the pH, as in make it more alkaline as opposed to being more acidic. All right, so for most people, though, this is not really a factor. But one consideration is that you wouldn't want to use it on acid-loving plants, okay, like blueberries, for example, or rhododendrons, or any plants that like a more acidic environment, a lower pH. You wouldn't want to use it. Now, to be honest, if you're sprinkling a little bit of ash, it's probably not going to harm it at all. But we want to note that and only use it on other plants. Okay, so it's not going to like raise the pH way high or anything like that. But if you used a lot, it is possible to raise it, and it is possible to nudge it out of the area where certain nutrients can't be taken up by plants. So we want to do, especially as home growers, as homesteaders, is just use it sparingly. Okay, so you use just a little bit here and there, not trying to overdo it. We're not trying to overload all of our plants with wood ash. It's a soil amendment. Okay, so it's good for that. Okay, in addition to having a good amount of potassium and phosphorus, it also has plenty of micronutrients in it as well. So copper, zinc, and calcium. In fact, calcium is probably the largest component, which makes it used often as a liming agent, or if we think of it this way, that wood ash contains some calcium carbonate, and so therefore things like lime, it would have I don't know, half or maybe 25% of the amount of calcium carbonate that lime would have. So it's not like if you used wood ash as a liming agent, it would take you quite a lot to be able to do that. So that's why I say it's not going to significantly impact your plants, but you should be careful. So for example, we got our little bed, and again, we're mid-May, not even mid-May yet. So our gardens are still just starting, but we're getting some greens already. We've already been harvesting kale and lettuce and arugula and some cilantro and some other cool things like that. But as far as like tomatoes, peppers, and these types of plants, all the kales and the greens, I think it's fine to use. And again, I don't don't use a massive amount. So in other words, it's just, for me, it's kind of like this. And I also don't worry about, you know, getting a little bit on the leaves. I mean, when it rains or whatever, it gets, a lot of it will get, you know, rinsed off. So I'm not worried about it. And again, I don't apply a lot, but this is generally speaking about how I do it. I also will use this on starts. Okay, so let me show you putting on some starts. Okay, so I've got a bunch of starts going here, and you know, it's the same thing, right? So I've got beans, and I've got marigolds, and morning glories, basil, New Zealand spinach, watermelon, squash, you know, you name it. As long as it's not a acid loving plant, right? If it has a wide range that it can handle as far as soil, then it's going to be fine to apply some wood ash. So I highly recommend it. Turn a waste stream into a resource. Okay, and then applying it across to perennials, same thing. You know, all of these are going to benefit from wood ash. And again, I'm not worried about tilling it into the soil and doing all that kind of stuff. That's too difficult. Not something I'm interested in. So just spread it around. Oh. On this box up here. Right, and then again, like I said, any excess, it can just go on the land, right? This whole thing is perennial area, but that whole edible forest garden up there, there's no way that I could use all of my wood ash and run out of space, basically. Again, the only thing I'm really doing is just avoiding a few particular plants. And other than that, all good. And there you go. There's another way to turn a waste stream into a resource and get some free potassium and phosphorus and calcium and all that good stuff from essentially a soil amendment taken from something that was going to go to the landfill or something that was already utilized, right? It already heated your home or did whatever. And now it's being used to help grow food. I mean, that's stacking functions, turning waste streams into resources. This is all great stuff.